Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It's Linda. Yeah, doing my infamous try and get the camera straight. Oops. Anyway, I hope that you guys have had a good week. Some of you guys, maybe not so much, because I know there's been a lot going on. That's decently straight. Not going on for people. But we're going to try something different, and we're going to make a card. See what we get out of this. And I've given you the measurements, so if you want to make it along with me. This is the time for a make along. Don't know if I probably spelled that incorrectly, but hey. Hello, Miss Barbara. How are you today? Okay, so I have done this, and it looks like it's pretty readable outside of this one, which is 4 inches by 5.5. Is it that one? Hold on a second. I think that might be an overhead light that I can ditch. So hold on. I finally got enough external sources that I can have. There we go. That's a lot better. I need to remember to turn my lights off because it makes a huge difference. Okay, so your card base is 5.5 by 4.25. Your strips are all 5.5, and then 1.25, 1.75, and 5.0, half an inch. 3/4 of an inch, 1.25 inch. And I saw this done on another gal, so that she puts this up, and I might, if this works and this hopefully comes off, will be good. And this piece right here is 2 3/4 or 2.75 by 1 inch. So I'll give everybody a few seconds to turn up. I am literally grabbing scraps because that's, I really like us to utilize our scraps so that we're not, just throwing them out or having these grand collections that take forever to use up. That is not the plan. And I used Spooky Halloween, and it's got these two little cute cat and dog characters. So we're going to use No Tricks, All Treats, and Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. And while we give people a few seconds to get on here, I'm going to grab my two little characters and stamp those guys. Hi, Dina. So Halloween is one of my favorites because as a preschool teacher, kids love Halloween. And dramatic play is a huge, huge deal. Nope. Need a little bit bigger blocks. The problem is I've got like 3 sets of blocks set up over here because I have so much that I have to get finished for my other classes that I'm teaching that it's a little bit overwhelming. Here, we'll grab these. Now I have to tell you, the joy of having 2 sets of blocks, one from Stampin' Up and then one, my close to my heart blocks, is that they all have different sizes, and that's great. Let's get our little guy out here. Let's see how I can do freehand stamping. And I've done the die cutting ahead of time, but I want to just give people a little bit of time before we wipe off the board. if you want to write down the sizes of the pieces. And this may not be very good. Hey Leslie, how are you? You know, Leslie and Barbara, I need your addresses from the last go round. Oops, don't do the cat yet. And these cute little guys. I feel like they're giving us a little bit more room on these because I'm seeming to do a little bit better job. Not great, a little bit better. I'm going to qualify that. And then we have a little cat. And I have some extra, of course, in case I screw up coloring or whatever. I got a few extra. This cat is super cute with her little witch's hat. And remember, scrap paper is your friend for practicing this. Oh, this is going to be a little off. Normally I would stand above it, but then all you'd see was my head. And there we go. Just got those out of the way so that we don't have to worry about that. I forgot to go get a wet down my rags. Okay. So then, of course, I use a baby wipe when I can't. Sensitive skin baby wipe. Don't use the regular ones. All right. So I am going to wipe this off and we're going to make some cards. Let's see how this works. Cross my fingers. The good news is I can just move this out of the way if it doesn't work. And it does. All right, so guys, this might be a new fun way for us to create together. So I have 2 card bases, and I did decide to cut them a little bit differently just for fun. And I have my insides of my card. I have these nice, pretty, bright Halloween cards. This is it Melon Mambo? I think it's Melon Mambo. You know, I'm not very good at this. And then I have a bunch of strips because I just felt like I'll just cut a bunch of strips down from these scraps that I had left over. And they are going to be 1.5, or I'm sorry, 1 1/4, 0.75, and 1.5 inch. I have a little staircasing there. Here are the insides of my card, and I'm going to stamp them with "Don't worry, eat sweets." Right? Regular wipes tend to have a drying agent in them, Dina. So sensitive skin does not have the alcohol or drying agents in it. Don't worry, eat sweets. All right. I cannot believe that we have September around the corner. I do not know about the rest of you guys, but I'm kind of like, really? How? I am, as we head into this crazy stretch of hot weather, heat advisory, am not looking forward to the next several days. The last week has been so much nicer here. Let's get my dog hair out of this. And this is the inside of your card to just kind of center it. Right. And then let's grab our pieces. Now, I have a bunch of different strips because I was not sure how I was going to set this up. So I was like, oh, let's make a couple different things, give myself some choices. And I really kind of like the spooky windows here. It's got the little eyes, little pumpkin. Now, I need to be careful not to have anything that's kind of green up above it. So like I could do my that be my one stripe, and that can go up there like that, and then the middle stripe needs to be something like that. And if I did that, by doing this, I break it up. Makes sense. Or I can put, I'm not super keen on that. So okay, I like that better with that. You can kind of see how that goes. So I can make a bunch of these cards, but this is the base piece of it. That's the important piece. I took away my... So I'm going to start off with my house just because I like my house. And that's how we're going to do this side of it. Now, I have this top of the card, which is going to be that piece of the card that you're going to use as your background. And I'm not in love with it being plain. So I'm going to grab my stamps, and I have this kind of like sparkly stamp, and I have these bats. I am, however, going to stick with my this is Granny Apple, and let's see if my Melon Mambo was close. I have too much stuff in front of my ink pads again. I'm loving it. Berry Burst, maybe? Well, I like Berry Burst better than I do Melon Mambo. So Berry Burst we shall work with. And this is a good idea to have some scrap paper when you do this, so that you don't, especially because now I'm working on a ink or a gloss surface, I don't have anything to absorb the ink. And let's do this one first. I'm going to add some little, not sure what these are, but like little magic things, like Harry Potter would have. Okay, nice idea, but not going to work for this corner. And remember, we do not have to do the whole thing because we have a large portion of it that's going to be off, covered up. So remember, we're going to be working with different colors, so make sure to clean off that stamp. Otherwise, you're going to have brown. And then I'm going to grab another block, and I'm going to put my bats on this. Now, I know bats should be black, but they're not going to be black today. And they're just going to fly in here. And when you're doing random background stamping like this, you work in threes, kind of. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that will help keep you, if you will, on a kind of balanced. It's random. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but it keeps it balanced. Get rid of your red. Oh, 72. That was our days. Yesterday was 80. But the previous 4 days, 5 days, were in the 70s, which is my ideals. 75 to 80 is my idea of perfect. But we're going to be at $4.99. I really feel bad. My husband is doing this thing. It's called the Great, or the Mother of Relays kind of thing. It's this huge thing where people like go to the top of the Mount Hood, which is a huge mountain here. You can ski year round. That tells you how big and how tall it is. And people run from the top of that mountain in a relay, and it's like a 12-person relay. They run 196 miles from the top of the mountain all the way over to the coastline. To the coast, not to the coast, yeah, all the way over to Seaside. You can look it up. If you search Mother of All Relays, it comes, it's super popular. People from all around the world come to participate in this. And my husband is driving. He can no longer run for, you know, just a little bit too beat up from the military service. All right, let's put these together now. So I need that again. Oh, this goes to that one. And I was like, that is just long. It is a 30-hour race, you guys. And what they do is he has 6 runners. And he goes and drops and picks off people at their end points. And they each run like 5 or 6 miles, depending on what leg they're on. Okay. And I just was thinking to myself, that just seems like an awful lot of work. I mean, even as a driver to do this, so he does his first 6, and then the next car has the second 6 people. So there's 12 people in the relay. And Jeff and his crew will drive ahead to the next point in the relay. I sent a message. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not watching messages come in. Hello, Regina. Welcome, welcome. So anybody that wants the measurements for the pieces that I'm doing here can pick them up off the description, because I did put them in there. So when this happens, just trim off the edges. I like to be a little bit long than a little bit short. Oh, essentially the people are running like two marathon, because they end up running, because 196 divided by 12, whatever that equals. But I remember thinking to myself, that's like 2 marathons. That's like crazy, right? 2 marathons just seems like a lot to me. Anyway, actually, let me reword that. 5 miles seems like a lot to me. I don't know if there's anybody else that feels that way, but the thought of running 5 miles is daunting, let alone participating in a relay where you're doing, I think everybody runs 3 sets or something like that. Or maybe 4, I can't remember 4 sets. I'd have to do the math to know. And then here we go. Sorry, I'm sitting here thinking. Cute, right? A one and done. Boy, do I hear that. One and done. That would be me. I have 0 desire to do that. I would go cheer my husband on if he was running, but he's not been able to run. Gosh, I want to say he stopped running over in Maryland. But, you know, with all the stuff that they have to do for the, okay, so this is my No Tricks, All Treats. Look at those cute guys. And ta-da! Okay, so now we've got all of our little things done, and this would be get popped up. Let's kind of move this out of the way. Right here, and you could be done with your card, hypothetically. Now, I always gotta like add to things because I don't know how to stop. I'm sure that there are some people on here that can relate to that. So I'm gonna mat one on the pink and one on the green and put them on opposite cards. Granny Apple, and I think that we decided, or this was berry. Something berry. Yeah, I am just not much of a runner. I am not much of an athletic person at all. Gardening, gentle bike rides. I got a motorized bike to keep up with my family because they're nuts. I love them, but they are nuts. Anybody else a runner in here? If you are, Eddie, this relay race thing is actually sold out the first few hours it opens up every year. And so then people are on a wait list. So somebody from the team signs everybody up, and Jeff will not be home Friday, probably around Saturday, or actually Sunday 1 a.m. or so, we're figuring, by the time he gets back from the coast, because the coast is a couple-hour drive from here. All right, because I want this to pop, we're going to do it on different things. Now, of course, there's some really cute pieces to this, so I went ahead and cut them out. Our little people. Just having a hard time that Sarah Grace starts school next week. And so that is how this piece of it's going to work. Now, there are a lot of fun products for embellishing here. And I swear to you, I had, oh, here they are. I was like, I had them out. I really did. So there's these cute little stars that we're also going to use. There is this ribbon, which is actually mossy green, but I think looks fantastic on the Granny Apple. And one side has a little bit more green, and if you flip it over, you've got the green edge with more gold. So you have some versatility on that. Now let's play with our little house, because we can have our little house. But then I got to thinking, they're looking at said little house. Wouldn't this be cute? Now this necessitates that I cut, whoops, where's my little mat? Because when you do this, you're going to want to have a way to get this off. Yeah. I will trim this right up to the edge. Now it looks even spookier. Shorter runs. Yeah, I did enough farm work that I had zero interest and no time to do any kind of athletic stuff at school. So I just never developed that outside of horseback riding. I just never developed a love for it. Actually, I'm going to save myself cutting on one side by, whoops, going down as close as I can. So I'm trying to think outside the box here and give yourself a little bit of playroom. I didn't quite get that the way I wanted it. And you're going to want to, like I said, I thought about trying to cut it out from the die, but then realized that all of the pieces of the windows and that would come out. And I guess I could paper piece the windows together and that might work really well. But I was like, no. I'm not even with Cricut stuff, do I like to spend a lot of time paper piecing. Okay. So I'm not going to make you sit through 2 of these, but you get the general idea of how you can put a background on this and make some really cute houses, which I think ties into our windows right here. These are not the best for this. I really try to like the snips. But I want to show you what you can do. Oh, sure. All right. This is kind of enough time with that. Diane continues to recover, guys. I don't know when she'll get home, but she does continue to recover. I want to put this down here. And it's kind of like right there. And I may not put my little person on there because there's not really a lot of room for the little person. Yeah, so on this one, I'm just going to put this on and I'm going to add a bat or 2 and some stars. And I'm going to put this down so that it crosses over all 1, 2, and 3. It gives me a little bit of room to add a bat. I really think the bats in this set are super duper cute. And I'm going to make the bats go off into different directions. And then this one, let's put our little cat on here. She's so cute, guys. She really truly is cute. And I'm going to color her in, but because we're running out of time, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put it onto here. My sister's a big cat person. And have that. And 2 little bats for this. How many of you guys have scraps that you could really easily make this card design? And you, like I said, I chose Halloween because I have leftover Halloween from a swap. You know, you could do whatever you happen to have. Maybe that's another thing to do, is something totally different, using the same pattern and show something completely different. And of course, you gotta have some glitter. We have to have a little bit of sparkle. Get in our sparkle however we can. And these are small, medium, and large, so you have a lot of flexibility. Aw, thank you. To do different things and create a fun look. Oh, whoops, I got 3 of those. I need black stars now. There you go. So that is our cards for today. You guys can make them. I'd love to see what you make. If you do make them, please add them to the group so I can see what you made with the same design, which is, you know, basic standard card, but I think it looks super duper cute and fun. And mystery giveaway. So we have a couple of different mystery envelopes that are here. So you don't know what you're going to get, but put a number up. And please remember to send me your address, because I have 3 from Monday that are not mailed out because I did not get addresses. Yeah. That might have been cute if I'd have put the ribbon down, like right into here. 7 from Regina. Actually, you know what? I'm happy without that. There's no good place to have a little person on this one. Yeah, that's too much with the haunted house. But the haunted house looks super cute. Yep. I have some retired 6x6 paper, retired memories and more cards, you know, retired stuff that I'm not quite sure how or when things are actually considered retired for Stampin' Up. The document is crazy long, guys. I kid you not. So, because is today your birthday? Leslie. Actually, Leslie, you are right on the money, because 22 is one of the numbers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick a number. What's the round light that's under the green card? This right here. Tomorrow. Oh, that is today the 20th. It is the 21st. Oh my goodness. I am lost. This is a glass mat that Stampin' Up sells. And it's great because you were on late. You didn't get to see what I did. I actually had all of the pieces to the card up on the mat, and I wrote down the dimensions on it. So this, like right next to this piece, it said 5.5 inches by, is that 0.75? 3/4 inches. Oh, the reflection, that, okay, so one light is this. Can you see that? And it's one of those lights that you can put over. You guys are going to laugh. But as a child care, these were my lights that I used to check kids' heads, but then ended up being used lots. And I love the magnifying glass piece of it, especially the older I get. And then I have another one that's up here that I don't know that you guys will be able to see because it's on it's a social light, and all of these have a warm and a cold setting for lighting. Can you see that? Yeah. And the light is like that. I don't want to blind you guys. That's not very nice of me if I do that. Now I've messed up my setup. Oh well. We'll just keep messing with it. But yes, that's how I get the lighting that I need in here. Yeah, it does have actually a pretty big, I'll have to play with that. Has a pretty big, or bright lights to go there, but you can't do that because you got to have that around there. So this is my new idea that I saw that somebody else had done, and I thought, oh my gosh, that might be really a cool idea to do if we're making cards, for me to lay the pieces out and just say, this is what the pieces are, and if I have my act together enough, we can do it ahead of time. So it looks like Regina and Leslie. Send me your email addresses. I think Leslie, that makes another one. Let me get these in order since I know. a crazy side eye. Yeah, yeah, it does kind of look a little bit off. Oops, there goes this. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will see you for sure on Monday. And next week, don't forget that we have classes for Stamp It Your Way, and we have classes for Paper Pumpkin folks for our Paper Pumpkin party and making some extra fun stuff. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I have a new workshop. So if anybody got the Turtley Cute paper, or Turtley whatever it is paper, Turtley Sweet paper, I have just finished editing a workshop that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you need a pack of the paper plus the workshop to make this. And I think they're cute. And I did not like these, but my friend spent a lot of time looking up different ideas for puns like shell shock, celebration, celebrating you another year, totally in love, better together. And this was a fun page to create. I want to make sure shelfie time, shell yeah. And we had a bunch of turtle ones, but we were trying to not make this as turtley because the papers themselves and the colors are great. Totally unforgettable. But the turtles, you know, this is, I think, the turtley best trip ever. A shell of a good story. Just shellacking on turtle time. Yes, so if you got this paper from me, the workshop and the paper pack, this, you can make this set. You need both the workshop and half of the paper pack. And then this is celebrate, happy birthday, celebrating in style. So punny puns are a lot of fun, and I'm so glad to get that done because I was like, I don't like this paper. And now we like the paper. Okay, guys, now I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.